the eve of August 7, 2006, around 3 o'clock in the morning, a devastating course of water, amplified by the high volume of rain in the surrounding areas, descending on Dire Dawa and caused incredible human as well as financial damage. The flood was responsible for the death of around 500 people and the destruction of 150 million birrs worth of property. What made the flood this devastating was the suddenness with which it hit the communities and their lack of preparation for a disaster of this magnitude. Abdullah is one of those people who suddenly had his whole life's work swept away by the torrent waters. It is at this time that a number of NGOs descended on the scene to give relief support to the people affected by the flood. JECDO, or the Jerusalem Children and Community Development Organization, was one of the NGOs who mobilized resources for the relief effort to the flood victims in these areas. From the onset, JECDO came to the realization that the aid that was being provided needed to be long-term since that area was prone to repeated flooding.
በዋናነት ድሬዳዋ በተለይ ጎርፍ አደጋ ተጋላጭነት አዝማሚያ ያለ ይህም ከጂኦግራፊክ አቀማመጧ ጋር በተያያዘና የላኛው ኦፖርቹኒቲ የምንለው ከዛ ጋር በተያያዘ ጎርፍ በቀጥታ ከተማው መሃል ለማለ የሚያቋርጥበት ሁኔታ አለ። ይህም ቀደም ብሎ ያፈርና ይዋ ጥበቃ የአካባቢ ጥበቃ ስራዎች ስላልተሰሩ በየጊዜው በሚከሰተው የጎርፍ አደጋና ተጋላጭነት የበለጠ በተለይ በቅርብ ዘመን እየተከሰተ ነው ያለው።
It is at that time that Cordaid introduced CMDRR to JECDO as an answer for providing long-lasting relief support to communities this disaster struck in. Through it, JECDO shifted its focus from simple relief support in order to achieve a more sound developmental relief.
ጎርፍን ግምት ውስጥ ያላስገባ የልማስራ ዋጋ የለውም የሚል ግንዛቤ ወሰድ በደረሰው አደጋ የሚቋቋሙትን ከመንግስትና ሌሎች አጋሮች ጋር የማቋቋም ስራ እየተሰራ አዲስ ፕሮጀክት ቀረጸ።
The core idea of community-managed disaster risk reduction is centered on the building of strong community organizations with comprehensive risk assessment and analysis done within that organization to build a community DRR plan that includes a development and a contingency plan.
2002 ሐምሌ 19 ቀን አዲስ አበባ ማንኛውም ዶክመንቶች የሚያስፈልጉትን አሟልቶ በመሄድ በፌደራል ፍትህ ሚኒስቴር የበጎ አድራጎት ማደራጃ ኤጀንሲ ተመዘገበ።
ልዩ የሚያደርገው በኮሚኒቲ ቤዝድ አይደለም በማህበረሰብ መር ነው። ታዋናዩ መሪውን ይዞ ሄዶ ስራውን የሚሰራው ማህበረሰቡ ነው። ሌላ ሁሉ አጋዥ ነው። ስለዚህ ፕሮጀክቱ ጠንካራ የማህበረሰብ አደጋ መካች የሆነ አደረጃጀትን መፍጠርና በዘላቂነት ችግሩን እንዲቋቋም ማስቻል ነው።
Due to the intervention made by the Cordaid-funded JECDO, the risk of flood vulnerability has been significantly reduced. Through the intervention, the communities have been able to put in place an early flood warning system, which uses mobile phones, sirens, and other various warning systems.
Kanarraawunamu dukkana sanitti oggaa qoonqoon sijjirtu hogguu dhamni sijjiru dukkanaas sijjira. Dukkana tanarraawu silkii sanuu yaadannu jechuudha. Oggaa dura namuu moobaayil bitannee jira afaan amaaritillee beeku baannu silkii quxirii fudhannee indaganaa dawwallee gaafannaa ogguroomni dhufee qabeenya keenya qopheeffannee jirra jechuudha. Amma saka qabeenya keenya banne jennee akka lafattee jennee maallaqallee hanqa lafaa qabnu hanqa lubbuu teenya neenu jennee bankii irraa illee ni qabna cheekallee fudhannee jirra.
One of the key areas where this is being reinforced is in the weekly women's group meeting. In addition to that, the communities have also been able to build structures necessary for fast runoff reduction, built on the hills flanking the flood-prone area.
ይሄን የመሬቱን ገጽ መሰረት በማድረግ
በተለያየ ቦታ ላይ የእርከንና የክትር ስራዎች ነበር መስራት የጀመርነው
አማ ጋራ እርከን ይዘለኝ የጁ ጋራ ሂኔ ሞህኒ በሄ ቂታምበ
The strength of the intervention has also galvanized the government's initiative to participate, which it did with the building of a 6-kilometer retention wall and the allocation of a budget for the rehabilitation of Genda Miskin, which sits in the front of the hills.
Katiba guga vanne baka katiban asdufe sai samuna madi baka samudi iftani mila hitani jenneti himni yabo wanu tirran fanne nu yada kiftani jani akasi darbi tanille nu dawani haras achi karaganta ceusan akasi nu rajarani jechu.
The environmental rehabilitation interventions done through reforestation, the construction of terraces, check dams, and flood diversion structures in the flood-prone areas not only managed to reduce the potential for flood risk, it has also managed to improve the livelihood base of the community, thus improving their resilience in the face of disaster.
Sanifu akata garte tirra hujit mullifanne hujirrat bafan nubargara yenne dirjiti lon nufte amma lonirra ana elmacha girachu jiraje tugare amma bu afidi.
With the improvements thus witnessed, there are still a lot of challenges that need to be tackled in terms of continued successful implementation.
Ummata mon to ni karasem ilmi nama dura samud ambarachu samuna ma jijiru ege samuna ma jijirre foqille yo samuna ma jijiru banne foqi jarre kanenef foqi sancire nyaata jechu sanifu ilma nama samu jijira da hankalin deesretti warre kareje faanja.
Nonetheless, the capacity building work done through the CMDRR approach has strengthened the community's resilience. A good example of this resilience is the fact that in 2010, a bigger flood than the one in 2006 passed through the area and the loss of life and materials was much more minimal in comparison. There was only one victim, and the loss to wealth was only attributed to the partial erosion of a retaining wall and the loss of a metal bridge. Among the many impacts CMDRR had that led to the minimal impact of the latest flood was the flood diversionary structures built to irrigate nearby plantations, out of which one of them is Abdullah's plot of land.
Amata kan amma roobni jiru yoo badelle waan amata nu gawleeniin qaba sanifu hedduu bu'aa gurguddaadha nuti asirraa arkanne akka keenyatti maalif eega daa'imni kun hidhamee gartee ollaan keenyalleen eegasi qotatee qaceelloon namuutu dachiin teenyatu nu bu'aa irraa arkanne jechuu nuti faayidaa.
አሁን ጋራው በተደጋጋሚ በመያዙ እናንተ በማለቱ ቡትጅ አሁን አመት ሙሉ የሚፈስዋል ሰዎች ልብስ ያጥቡበታል ወጣቶች ዙሪያውን ያሉት አትክልትና ፍራፍሬ እየሰሩበት ነው የተለያየ እንቅስቃሴ እየተደረገ ነው ስለዚህ የአየር ንብረት ለውጥን መሰረት አድርጎ የሚሰራ ስራ ሁሉ የዓለምን የማኖር አቅም ማሳደግ ማለት ነው ባጭሩ
በየክልሉ በአርብቶ አደር አካባቢ ማለት በከፊል አርብቶ አደር አካባቢ ማለት ይቻላል እንደ ጥሩ የልምድ ልውውጥ ሴንተር በማድረግ ለወደፊቱ በተሻለ መስራት የሚቻልባቸው ስራዎች ኮርዲኔት ያሰበ ይገኛል በይበልጥ ከነዚህ ከራሳቸውን ችሎ ከወጡ የሲኤምዲአርአር ኮሚቴዎች ጋር ሰፊ ስራን እንሰራለን ብለን እናስባለን
Currently, the challenges that are being faced by the communities in terms of flood risks have been greatly reduced, and there are plans to replicate the success across many regions.